Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Our third question for our evaluation is, what have you learned from your audience feedbacks?
We're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how our feedback shaped the production of our zombie horror film trailer, Infection.
You'll be able to see the process from its original cut to its final state.
Before the production, we carried out audience research in the form of questionnaires, interviews and polls to determine the characteristics of the genre zombie horror.
The feedback we received helped structure the plot of our trailer and influenced our decisions relating to mise-en-scene.
As you can see, the questionnaire has helped us when deciding what locations we would use in our trailer. The majority of the people who answered the questionnaire said they would like to see a city or a town location. We also carried out interviews asking a target audience.
What locations do you think would suit our genre?
Probably in main cities with a school or like a shopping centre. People seeking shelter in a church or in a car park or something.
You say like urban environment, that's what it was on as well. Deep, dark, scary place for them to come out.
So at the beginning of the trailer we used a city location. After the disruption we used abandoned areas as this was the second most popular answer. The questionnaires also helped us decide on the costumes for the protagonist and other characters, also how a zombie should look. During the interviews, we asked the target audience, what do you think a zombie should look like?
Got a zombie that looks a bit more human, like you can still tell they're dead and they're still pretty disgusting, but like at first you might mistake them for being human and
Half-eaten, covered in blood, raw flesh, bit of his skin missing so you can see his jaw.
they look gruesome and deformed.
This helped us when deciding on costume for the zombies. However, our low budget and our skills in makeup stopped us from achieving this look.
We presented a rough cut of our trailer to our peers. From this feedback we learnt that our trailer needed a faster pace to fit in with the genre and was missing several jump cuts. We went back and re-edited the footage to fix this problem.
As you can see, before the feedback we used a pan across the wall. After the feedback we added jump cuts. This created a sense of distortion. During the early stages of research, we gathered information from questionnaires. We asked the target audience which shot types they would like to see in our trailer. This helped us with cinematography. The majority of the target audience said they'd like to see close-ups, therefore we used several close-ups throughout the trailer, also in our additional tasks. Here are some examples of close-ups used in our trailer. I also thought it was suitable to use close-ups in my poster and magazine.
We uploaded our trailer at different stages to YouTube and then shared this on social media sites such as Twitter and Facebook to gather feedback at each stage of trailer production. This helped shape the trailer.
Our tutor also gave us feedback throughout surrounding editing and sound. In particular, one scene we added additional sounds and titles at her suggestion.
Breaking news. Certain reports about citizens have been advised not.
Adding these titles and sounds made the scene more dramatic and chaotic, which suits the genre. From our questionnaires, the target audience suggested red, black and white as the most popular choice for the 3-colour rule and which is most associated with the genre. However, I felt I wanted the product to stand out from the other zombie horrors, so chose to use the second most popular choice of green. Also, after class feedback, it was suggested we should use a green tint on our trailer. I also applied a green tint to both my poster and magazine as this implies continuity. When we carried out the interviews, we asked the target audience, in your opinion, what gender do you think the main character should be in a horror?
Maybe a female one to like switch up a bit, and also to like, because most of the horror films that have a female lead character, the female at some point or another has been weak or stupid or like tripped over when she's running and there's nothing there, and it's I want a chance for like females to get their moment of badassery.
females because that seems to attract a lot of attention. So
The majority said female, therefore we made the main character female. And we asked them,
what character traits would you like to see in the main character and why? I don't like when they're really cowardly. I also don't get when they're overly brave.
Yeah. Some common sense. Not stupidity, but common sense would be a key trait.
I want them to be brave and not stupid because the stupid ones really, really aggravate.
they suggested the main character should be smart, have common sense, brave, and also independent. This can be seen throughout our trailer. The facial expression on the protagonist suggests that she's brave as she's facing the zombie, but her face shows that she's not scared. When I carried out polls, I asked the target audience what type of music do you associate with horror. I asked this so we could decide on what sound we would use in our trailer. The majority said an original score. Therefore, we created an original score on GarageBand. Some of the target audience agreed that they'd like to see a rock or heavy metal sound in the trailer. We tried to create a rock sound by using drums to keep an upbeat sound for the chase scenes. Now we're going to get the behind the scenes look at what I learnt from feedback during post-production and how it shaped my poster for Infection. I gathered feedback throughout to help shape my film poster. As I previously stated, that questionnaires helped me determine the 3-colour rule I would use. I decided to use green, black and white on my film poster. And I also used it on my other products to suggest continuity. I presented my first draft of my poster to my peers. I got feedback suggesting that I should use a different shade of green, and one suggested that I should edit the eyes of the zombie. This reflected the feedback that I received after posting it onto my Facebook. My tutor also suggested I should include a background image, as the background seemed a bit plain. All 3 sets of feedback gave me the inspiration to change the layout of my whole poster. I then decided to change the image. I used a close-up, again as I previously stated, that during the early stages of production, in the questionnaires, the audience suggested I should use close-ups, as these are most associated with the zombie horror films. I edited the close-up and edited the eyes as my feedback suggested. I applied a lighter green to the text as, again, my feedback suggested. I then uploaded my poster to Facebook again to gather feedback. The target audience then suggested that it was a bit obvious that the zombie has makeup on. I decided to correct this using the brush tool and blurred the makeup lines around the eyes. My tutor then suggested that the poster seemed a bit bright, so I altered the brightness. This then suited the genre more. I created a survey on SurveyMonkey and shared it on Facebook again, so I could get a larger response. The image I used on this survey was the final product. One of the questions that I asked was if they could suggest any improvements, and all the responses said no, so I felt like I did not need to change my poster. Now you're going to get the behind the scenes look at what I learnt from feedback during post-production and how it shaped my magazine cover for Infection. I first created 2 drafts for my magazine cover. I was unsure which draft I should choose, so I asked my target audience which they preferred. After this feedback, I decided to choose the first draft. As previously I stated that questionnaires helped me determine the 3 colours I would use. I used green, black and white for all 3 products to suggest continuity. I started to produce my magazine cover. I then got feedback from my peers and they suggested I should add more graphics as I was yet to add the main image. I decided to use a close-up shot type, which goes against my draft as previous audience feedback suggested I should use a close-up, as this shot type is most associated with zombie horror. I then got feedback from my tutor. It was suggested that the image didn't say zombie horror genre, which I agreed, so I changed the image and then I used a medium close-up instead. After more feedback, I believe that the image again didn't suit the genre. I think it was too light and the image needs to be darker. And the genre couldn't be established through this image, so I edited the images so it appeared that the protagonist had cuts, bruises and dirt on her face, so the audience could tell she's a survivor. During interviews and questionnaires, it was suggested that the protagonist should be an unstereotypical female. So she's brave and strong, therefore I wanted to show this through the image. Here you can see the protagonist looks brave through her facial expression, as well as the editing the image. I changed the colour of the green as feedback suggested. Also, I wanted to use the same shade of green as I used on my poster. This suggests continuity. It was also suggested that something was needed at the bottom of the page on the magazine, so I decided to use a plus symbol and a cover line to advertise a free poster. I also made the image darker as I adjusted the brightness. However, I got more feedback from my tutor, as you can see the model's face doesn't stand out, so my tutor suggested that I should change this. Also, my tutor suggested that I should include a background image, so I decided to edit two images together, one of a model and the other of a tunnel, which appears in the trailer. My tutor then gave me feedback on my updated version of my magazine cover. She suggested that it was too green, so I decided to change the colour of my masthead to white. This helps the masthead stand out more, because before it seemed to just blend in. More feedback suggested I should change the shade of green again, so I decided to use darker green for my cover lines. I then created a survey on SurveyMonkey and I posted it on Facebook. One of the questions I asked was if they could suggest any improvements. The majority said no, so I didn't change anything else in my magazine.
We're going to get you to watch through our trailer and then answer a couple of questions, if that's alright. So, if you click play.
Citizens have been advised not to approach highly contagious.
We haven't got enough supplies for somebody else. How can we trust her?
She's just saved his life.
Okay, so you've just seen the trailer for our movie, Infection. What did you think about it as a whole? Did you like it? It's very good.
Yeah, the editing's brilliant, whoever did that. The variety of shots and the cinematography is just spot on, really.
Is it the kind of movie that you might be interested in seeing yourself?
Yeah, kind of like, I watch a lot of zombie films. Yeah.
Oh god. That reminds me of which one is it? What, The Exorcist cover?
Yeah.
With the eyes.
I think it relates really well to the genre. And it's all tied into the magazine as well, with the backgrounds, and especially the background of the magazine, because you use that in your trailer. Really, all of them are really good.
I think they all work really well. Could you use all of them to promote your film?
From these reactions, I feel that I have achieved 3 products that suit a zombie horror genre and appeal to our target audience, and that without the help of audience feedback throughout production, I would have not achieved this.